It's time for the Gettin Outdoors podcast, Town Country United Bank Lake Millis Ferry Weekend Hunting and Fishing Report. A weekly update on water conditions, ramp events, generating schedule, what's biting, and seasonal hunting information with outdoor reporters Joe Allen Dunn, Kevin Sims, and Shane Jones. This weekly hunting and fishing report is brought to you by the good folks at Town Country United Bank in Camden, Alabama, serving their customers for over 40 years. Town Country United Bank's highest priority is satisfied customers. Now, here's your weekend Lake Millis Ferry hunting and fishing report.
First one, 2023, smackdown.
There he is. Team Bigfoot, baby. Another one on the B&B Silver Shade. Team Bigfoot in the house.
Shane Jones, Crappie. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Town Country United Bank Hunting and Fishing Report for the Getting Outdoors podcast, number 208. Got Shane Jones and Kevin Sims, my outdoor reporters. Joe Allen's in Birmingham. Had to carry Cameron to the doctor up there, and he's on the road. Maybe he'll be tuning in because we got him a new name, Kevin. Dialed in done.
Dialed in done.
He dialed in.
Did
Huh?
good.
I got to give it to him now. I got to give it to him. He dialed in this weekend. He was so proud of them crappie right there. And I was proud for him because he was getting kind of low. But we're going to talk about that in a minute. I hope everybody's having a great week. Me and Shane sat down with Scott Williams. Shane, I think that was one of the most enjoyable editing jobs I ever did. We were with him for an hour. We did an hour interview with him, and that was just some great stuff, man. He shared so much stuff. It was just
yeah. He's easy to talk to, and then you get to talking, and it just flows like water. So. And
the way that he won that tournament, him and Josh Jacob, I mean, it was just unbelievable. And what he shared with us, it was just, I mean, you just don't see professional fishermen doing that. You know, I believe I could go up to Cooter's Pond myself and catch some fish. I really do.
Oh yeah. He, the whole story. People need to pay attention to that story. His mom being in that accident.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The whole, it's a great story, and it's good, positive story, It
really is. It really is. And we will, and I really thank him for sitting down with us and wish him luck in his career. All right, I don't have too much going on. The biggest news, I guess, this week I got from the marina down there. they are turning dirt down at the Miller's Ferry Marina. So it's about time. They were supposed to start the first of the year, and they have got it started this week, and really looking forward to that. And of course, if you're coming to Camden now, it has not closed yet, but if you're coming to Camden in the next 4 or 5 weeks, the 4-way stop between Camden, coming out of Camden, going to Miller's Ferry, they're shutting it down for 60 days. And if you coming from Linden, Marion, Shane, when you come, well, you'll be coming to my house, so you won't have to.
No, you just go for me right on into town. Like
it won't mess you up. But if you come into Camden or Bridgeport Landing or Roland Cooper State Park, you're going to have to detour at 221. And if you're coming down 28 from Linden, Demopolis, Marion, all 28, you have to detour at 221 and go down to McDonald's Grocery, and then you can either turn left and go up, I think that's 162, and come out there at the Methodist Church, or either you can go all the way down to 41 and come up through town. But
it's gonna be a long detour, ain't it?
It is. I think it's a 10-mile detour. But
what are they doing at 4-way stop?
They're going to cement it, going to concrete it, going to put concrete, tear it all out and make it concrete.
Huh.
So heads up for everybody on that. And I'll certainly be mentioning that. And you sure don't want to come drive. Well, I'm sure they'll have signs and everything up, but. All right, let's get into the Town Country United Bank Hunting and Fishing Report. We got a lot to go over. Miller's Ferry Powerhouse still pulling all 3 units from midnight to midnight. Jones Bluff running 3 units from midnight to midnight. River temperatures 62 to 66 on my depth finder. And the sloughs, I saw some 72-degree water this Sunday. Shane, what about you?
Oh, I up in there. I quit paying attention to it. To be honest with you, when it gets this warm, I don't, because those fish, they ain't gonna do their thing till the eggs get right. But we'll talk about that. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's start off with the catfish. The catfish, I put the video up, and it's about a 1.5-minute video. So if you hadn't seen it, it's on my reels on my Facebook page when Joe Allen caught that big yellow cat and had that crappie in his belly. And it's done got looked at 700,000 times. So if you want to see it, go look at it. It really is something where the crappie not only came out of the yellow cat's stomach, but it had the jig still in his mouth.
I was standing there, and when Brandon pulled it out there, he took the fillet knife. It went on filleted the crappie after he took the jig out. Give it back to Joe Allen. He filleted the crappie out of it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And Jason Jernigan, now let me tell you what he did, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
That river was swift this week. He threw some long line jugs with live minnows, with bait shop minnows and brim at Elms Bluff, and he came back. They was almost to the Roland Cooper State Park the next morning. That's how fast that river was moving.
Yeah.
And he caught a 41-pound blue cat.
Wow,
that was a big one. That was a big one. And I did talk to Travis Powell Saturday afternoon. Shane, he was in the river chugging. I couldn't get much out of him. He had other things on his mind, but he did go fishing Saturday. I don't know if he caught any fish or not, because he was hard to communicate with him Saturday.
Yeah. Well, he was probably working on his lawsuit still, wasn't he?
I don't know. But catfishing, Kevin, if you're coming this weekend, looks like the long line jugs might be in play.
Yeah, I don't know how many did. I with the fast water, it's going. You're going to be getting things right. And I would still say, that your backwater, maybe not in the back of the slough, start moving out there to where it's 4, 6, 8 foot deep. Still with your short jugs, and everything's going to be, the bait's in there.
Yeah.
Everywhere I fished at last Friday in that wind, when the bait hit the water, it's fry and shad, just blast. They everywhere,
Yeah. I saw Brian Taylor. He had one little yellow cat. I gave him them 3 6. I had 3 big crappie when I saw him.
Mm-hmm.
Gave them to him. Hey, Scott Williams is on here. Shane won't know what we talking about.
Oh, we've been talking all kinds.
That's what we talking about right
That's what
there.
we're talking about right there. Yeah.
At 362.
Lord have mercy.
Look at that thing. Look at that thing.
That's obnoxious. That thing's obnoxious, Big Daddy. You know?
Yeah.
It darn sure is. I tell you, that's a monster fish right there.
Woo.
But that's what we're talking about, Scott. And Jason's on him. Jason Domain, Delta Jigs.
Yeah, he went and caught some. He's been shooting some docks. I think I seen where he posted some.
Freddie is. Scott said, "Look at what Scott said.
He said you should have seen it in person."
He said he should have seen it in person.
I heard Scott Mitchell. Yeah, exactly. That's who he told me. He said this thing don't even look real. It's so tall.
But
it looked like a football. It was so thick.
Yeah, I put it up there when we go to the crappie report. But Freddie is the one that gave Joe Allen his new name, Dialed In Done.
Dialed In Done.
Yes, sir. That was a good one. All right, catfishing and tight lining. Now, Brian was doing something. He looked like he had his trolling motor on spot lock in that swift water, and he was on the edge, and he was tight lining.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, if it ain't moving too bad, you could do that and keep your lines tight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like especially with the remote, he could change it and pull tight if he needed to. The dragging, probably the water's a little too fast for your planer boards. It would have kept unplugging, unhooking them, dragging this week.
All right, here's the question everybody wants to know, Kevin.
Uh-huh.
Skipjack. Everybody won't know when the skipjack gonna start running.
I did my best a week or two before Easter.
Okay.
But I got a funny feeling. I got a funny feeling that when the river gets back down a little bit lower below that dam, close to them gates, that you're gonna have the first run of them, I believe.
I think that, yeah.
But I'm just speculating. But that I think you might better go down there and catch a few. They ain't gonna be thick. Give it a couple more weeks, and then you can go down there like I did. I did it all in one day. I went down there and got a 5-gallon bucket full, and put behind the freezer because I don't have to have that many.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, when they start running, we'll let y'all know. I promise you. I promise you that. All right, let's go to crappie. And before we get into the meat and potatoes of crappie, Shane, I listened to your show last Thursday night, man. You got a good thing going with that crappie cast, and I appreciate you doing that. Who you got on it this week?
It's just gonna be me and John answering a few questions. He's in Grenada, so we're gonna.
He caught a 3-pounder. He caught and released a 3-pounder yesterday.
He did a 302 or 6. So we're gonna be trying to concentrate on answering questions. Then we'll catch up with somebody the next week. But yeah, Matthew Rogers done. He dropped some information.
He did. He really did.
I was writing down as he was talking.
You and John was milking him like a cow too.
We just kept quiet and kept on. He was rambling off, and I was writing down. I enjoyed that one.
It was good stuff, man. I tell you. And that one me and you did with Scott this week, that podcast is good stuff too.
Yeah, people don't understand. You got to pay attention to people like that. Those guys have thousands of hours behind that live scope and plus experience tournament fishing. So they approach stuff different, and just listen to Scott in that podcast, they'll hear. I mean, it's impressive, man.
Yeah. Well, Brian Taylor says skipjack in Claiborne right now. So there you go. And he knows. Because I seen his big rump walk down that rip rap a heap of days and get some skipjacks. All right, now we had something happen. I didn't download the picture because ain't nobody going to believe it when I put it up there. But Jabbo came by Dunn Sports the other day, and Joe Allen said he got the pictures off of his old Southern Link phone. And he said he caught them 3-pound crappie down there at Silver Creek.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Allen swears it's legit. He said he believed him, and he put them on Facebook. But me and Shane, I said the pictures were taken back in the 60s. But
they wasn't that far back. Now, I ain't going to say it wasn't in the daggum 90s, but
they Polaroids.
But anyhow, he got Joe Allen believing he's catching them 3 pounds.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
That's a young Jabos in that picture.
And of course, if y'all are just tuning in, we put this up to start with. Dialed in done last week. We gave him so much devilment about not catching but 2. He did catch 15 this weekend.
That's right.
He sure did.
Yeah, he had 2 decent days.
He was dialed in, so we have to give credit where it's due. And he sent a picture of Daryl Cox over there in Grenada. Wading catching them 3 pound, 3 pound crappie. And of course, we mentioned John and Jessica Farmer over there. Are they fishing a tournament this weekend?
No, sir. No, they're not. They're just over fun fishing this week. The Crappie Masters is there this weekend. There's a lot of boats out there, and John said if you ain't out there by 5:30 in the morning, there's 100-something boats at them long. So they're pre-fishing for Crappie Masters this weekend.
And Travis Hudson he put a picture up yesterday, and he did it again today. He's throwing some big crappie out there today. He said he's throwing them new B&B chasing jigs. I ain't never seen one of them. Have you seen one?
I hadn't either. Unless they got the big eye with a reflector on them or something.
I don't know, but that's what he said. But the crappie, I went this weekend. I caught 6 Saturday. I caught 6 Sunday. All of them were good fish, but I couldn't find them concentrated. You did. You didn't find them concentrated. You were chasing them down. Talk about if somebody's coming to Miller's Fair this weekend, what to expect, Shane.
You're gonna have to cover some water. You probably got a few males that may be bunched up under it. You need to learn how to shoot docks, of course, because I found there was a lot of eater fish under some docks. So I will drop that little tip to people. Your females are staging up 8, 9, 10 foot of water. They're getting ready to move up. You gotta realize them females, they're lazy. They're just sitting back there letting them males do all that work. And then when it's time for them to go up, they're going up. Then they'll do their thing, then back out. So you have to cover a lot of water. Like I said, I found them on some timber. I'm sure people are catching them suspended. The fish are moving a little bit, but they're sitting there eating bait. I mean, like Kevin was saying, there's bait fish everywhere. So you got to look in between bait and you just got to cover some water. And I'm not saying you're going to pick off 21 spot, but right now there's some big fish biting. We caught some really good fish this weekend.
What's the colors? What's the color?
I caught them on chartreuse and white and a red head and a white body. I caught them on that. I sure did. That's what I followed up.
You gave me a yellow one with a yellow and white body, and that's what I caught every one of them.
Right. That water's just the right color for that chartreuse and white. I think it may clear up some before this weekend, so we'll see. Like I said, you might have to throw a little shad pattern or a little white and something.
Hey, Shane, you ain't got a violin. You don't know how to play a violin, do you?
No.
Play a little music for Taylor Ward. He said, apparently I'm snake bit. I'm the only one that didn't catch a fish this weekend.
Well, I know how he's
I saw him Friday up there at Lawton drinking coffee. He wasn't going fishing.
I put in at 9 o'clock. He was coming in. He wasn't out there an hour and a half.
Hey, he's got an open invitation to go with me, so I need to open his eyes up to the new ages. He's still fishing old castle fishing. So.
And I tell you what, buddy, he has got some boats lined up. You for a boat at CT Ward Power Sport, buddy. He got some fine crappie fishing boats.
But it's still a couple weeks before the kind of fishing that Taylor's doing. When they run up there and 3 or 4, there's a lot of fish in 3-4 foot of water. I mean, it's still a week or 2 out because even in Florida, Tommy, my buddy, caught him in the middle of a creek. Still they hadn't ran the bank in Florida yet. Lake Talcon. So that's several hundred miles south of here. So it's not time yet.
Yeah. Miss Dottie's tuned in.
Hey, Mom, how you?
And Dave. How you doing, Dave and Miss Dottie? Man, we got a good crowd on here tonight. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Now, if you're just tuning in and you did not see, me and Shane just got through with the interview with last week's, what is it, National Crappie League champion Scott Williams and Jacob Sapp, and they caught a 362 fish. And the story, you got to listen to the story, but there it is, y'all. If anybody ever want to know what a 3 pound, I'd say 3 3/4 pounds right there, buddy.
That's basically close to it.
Giant. That is a giant. Every one of that fish was over 2 pounds. Look at that picture in the top right hand. Look how much bigger that 362 is than 2
Yeah.
pounds.
That's crazy.
Mhm. At 21 pounds for 10 fish.
No, yeah, well, 10 fish,
Yeah.
21.11 pounds. They just weighed in 5 fish at this tournament, and I like that, Shane. I like that.
That's right. Well, you know, like Scott said in that podcast, you got to concentrate catching 5 fish.
Yeah,
And it's not 7, it's 5. But man, they need to listen to it because that story is awesome. The way he told it to the T of what happened, how he done it, and you know, and it's awesome just to listen to the story behind those fish.
Jason said that's the biggest fish he ever seen. He was up there too.
Yeah, he was.
Look who's done tuned in. Look who's tuned in. Good evening.
Yeah.
Dialed in,
Dialed
done.
in, done on the road.
Joe Allen, I had to show you this. Now I did this just for you. I wanted everybody to see that you were dialed in this weekend. So there you go. But I'm saying this weekend is going to be the weekend. I really do. I think.
Yeah, you got a little cold front coming in Friday night. It's gonna be 38, I think, but that shouldn't cool the water off any. So.
Mm-hmm.
The
Well,
full moon's going on right now, so that's going to make them push up too. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a good weekend, I think.
it is. All right, let's talk about bass fishing because Kevin Miller's Ferry is on fire. It's the best I've seen in a long time. We got a Gilberttown open this weekend out of Bridgeport City Landing. Will we go 3 weeks in a row with the top 2 having 20-pound bags?
I hope so. No, I thought it was the Share Gospel. Is it Share the Gospel or is it Gilberttown?
It's Gilberttown open, but I think
Brother Howard.
Brother Howard Gaston is running it.
Okay.
But and also over in Demopolis, it is the Poor Man's Tournament Trail pay at the landing, and they had a pretty good turnout for that last one also. And last week, the Extreme Bass Challenge, Jimmy Cook and Tommy Bridges, they've been on a slump for a while, but they come out of that slump with that 22-pound bag.
They're strong. He come on in there.
And then them Schroeder boys came in second with high 19 pounds. So the bass, Kevin, seem to be wide open right now.
Yeah, it was, and I think that there was probably some diversity in the patterns, and I'm proud to see all the 20-pound sacks we get. I just want to see the total average come up because I know I kind of added the top 20 up my head, and we're looking at a 12, 13-pound average, which is not bad. Mm-hmm. But now that's more of a summertime average in my mind. We need to be a little higher than that in the spring. But, I'm tickled to death that we're getting that many big fish.
I hadn't seen 2
weather wasn't
consistent 20-pound bags with a 6-pound kicker in a long time. Yeah. I can tell you that. Yeah. So,
and see, and that's that, and I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking that, but a 20-pound sack and you got a 6 and a 4 right there within you don't have to have a 3 to weigh 10 pounds. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you catch 5 fish that weigh 4 pounds, just the average, it's good. You got to get them sacks, and I know that there was some diversity in the patterns. They were doing different things, and that's good.
Well, if you got a 20-pound bag, you ain't worried about no average. I can tell you that. You worried about that paycheck.
But the other 50 people that fishing more off.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But we've been talking about this now for 2 years. Mm-hmm. And this is the first time we've had consistent 20-pound bags show up.
That's right. But we've had like last year, when the ABT come, the stars lined up, did the same thing. Yeah. And they actually had the average we needed, but it was, you had a hurricane rolling up on the beach, it was perfect up here, it was just right with the pressure and all, but that it's good. It's good. A lot of healthy fish. We've seen some that hadn't spawned this time. Last week, a lot of those fish that were getting caught were spawned in the first 20-pound sacks. But this week, I saw some fish that was a little more blowed up, I believe, hadn't spawned yet.
All right. Now, Ken Clayton made the announcement for the schedule of the fruit jar tournament, Thursday afternoon fruit jar tournament, and he's not going to do them every other week. He's just going to do one a month. Mm-hmm. And I got the schedule up. The first one is on March the 30th, 3 o'clock blast off till dark, $15 per angler. $5 big fish per boat. Mm-hmm. And that's turned out to be a great little old tournament. All right, Kevin. Are you gonna fish the Gilbert Town Open this weekend?
Possibly. I got a rodeo, I think, Friday night, so it depends on when I get back.
All right. Well, tell everybody what you would do. You can't tell everybody what you gonna do, but tell everybody what to be looking for and what needs to happen to win that tournament this weekend.
Well, the big factor is going to be the water level. That it drops really hard prior to the weekend. So I think that some of those fish they caught were back out. That's being up a little shallower because I went fishing Friday in that wind, and I went in a few places and where I caught fish and I couldn't get around good. It was like the water had dropped about 10 inches. There's actually about 3 inches of water drop on the trees, and then you see about 3 inches of pollen. So I know the water had dropped in the last 2 days that much. And I think if they close some of the gates and kind of stabilize the water, some of these fish are going to be in that, I ain't gonna say they're gonna be in the dirt this time, but they're gonna be in the back, some of the shallow water. And those areas, your swim jig, chatterbait, spinnerbait, they're gonna be good. But now these fish is out on these points, and some of these fish is in the river. I've been hearing rumors, they catch them in the river, and that'll be shaky heads, crankbaits, your deeper running stuff, and it may be some of it being just out the river, some of your protected points and stuff like that. But I think that I think you're gonna have that both patterns, and if the water does stabilize or rise a little bit, you're gonna see some pretty good sacks.
I hope so. I hope it stays consistent. Look who just tuned in. We done already talked about you, Travis. So you done turned in too late. You got to go back and listen to what we said.
He needs to go to work, Big Daddy. It's Wednesday, man.
Yeah. All right. Bass fishing is going to be good. Crappie fishing is going to be good. Cat fishing is going to be good. But let me tell you what is hot right now, and that's pond fishing. And I see Joshua. He's on here. Joshua Prim, he caught a mess of good bass in a pond. And then, did you see the picture? Them little Brooks boys had a tailgate full of them pond bass. They even had one old catfish up in there. Nothing more fun. I'm going to do that too, Shane. I wish I could get my live scope in my pond where I could find them big brim bass. You said you found one the other day.
I found some upriver. I actually was going in a cypress swamp up there I've never been in, and it was tight getting in there, man. I banged trees, got in there, and I was idling in, and I looked to my left, and I know it's probably a shellcracker bed because it's in 3 or 4 foot of water. Yeah, I bet that thing was 50 yards long. I just looked. I said, "Ooh, I might be back here come April, first full moon, and it may be a little early this year, maybe May, but I'm gonna be checking it out."
That's my old buddy Russell Hanson's tuned in. Me and him and old Troy Ruiz, we used to have an annual trip over there to his Eagle Lake in Sumter County. He got some whopper, but I think he got mad at me and Troy for catching all them fish the last time we rode at a turkey guy. We were sitting on his pier catching them brim, and it was turkey gobbling. It was, I think it was in June. Russell, wasn't it in June when we did that? But anyway, appreciate you tuning in tonight, my friend. Good to hear from you.
I went pond fishing Sunday, and that moon popped up, and the fish were trying to bed, and I'm talking about like by about 5 o'clock, it looked like you had an aerator. It was churning all the way around, and fish up on the bank like that, But we caught some big ones. We had a 6 and 2 5s and 3 or 4, like that. We didn't catch but about 10 fish, but they was all big sows that we caught. You had to. It was aggravating. I probably had 100 bites before I caught them.
Well, it's show time to be hitting them farm ponds now. I guarantee you, brother. And crickets, and I know Joe Allen, he told me he had never sold as many crickets early as he's selling at Dunn Sports. Of course, Dunn Sports got crickets and worms and live minnows, and Lofton's Bait Shop, they're wide open too. So it's fishing time now. I tell you what, it's fishing time. All right, let's talk about turkeys. I heard a turkey gobble the other morning right here, right outside the door right here. And Tommy, my brother, he sent me a video. You might have seen it. The turkeys are gobbling in the Grampin Hills. What you hearing, Kevin?
I've seen several videos, heard a few. Had a guy tell me that he heard 5 the other day from his camp, sitting on the porch drinking coffee. And said that it done got on up in the morning. They hadn't gobbled like that, and said a log truck come by out there on the highway a quarter mile away and throwed his Jake brake on. And said they all started gobbling. So they gobbled for 45 minutes.
But Shane, them turkeys just like them crappie. They not gonna do their thing till it's time.
That's right. Well, you can't. Everybody used to tell me during hunting season, it's getting cold. We're gonna kick the rut off. No, it don't. Now them does come in heat, and when them hens come in heat, it's the same way.
That's
it's
right.
It's not gonna happen till it happens.
Yep. The length of the days and the moon.
That's exactly.
Well, you got the time change.
You ain't gonna.
That's right.
You ain't gonna fool Mother Nature. Now I can tell you that.
You don't forget, guys. You got the time change this weekend, so Saturday night. So that's you're gonna lose that little bit of sleep, but it ain't gonna bother me any.
No, you gonna be out that day crack anyhow.
That's right.
I'd hate to follow Shane Jones around one weekend. I tell you. All right, let's talk about the turkeys. Turkey season comes in March the 25th. Joe Allen slam full of stuff. Coast to coast True Value in downtown Camden slam full of turkey stuff, and they got that leafy suit. Have you ever seen one of them leafy suits? They less than $100, and if I was a turkey hunter, I'd have to have me one of them things.
Long time ago, I bought a ghillie suit. It was like kind of like that.
Yeah,
that sun gun was too hot though. I couldn't wear that thing.
Look at him, what David Gaston says. Now,
not gobbling around the house.
Not gobbling around here. I haven't seen a turkey in nearly 3 weeks. They moved again. I think I call BS on that. What about you?
you might be right.
but yeah, and old Keith had a heck of a sale. I don't know. He might have sold out all his turkey stuff this weekend at Safford Hardware. But I'm gonna tell you, if you're in the market for any kind of hunting gear, Safford Hardware, coast to coast, are done spokes. I guarantee you. Rusty Godbold's on here. He got him a new pole saw today, and I'm gonna put his rump to work on that pole saw at my house, cutting them limbs down. All right, what about rodeo, Kevin? What about rodeo?
I think me and Brody going to Robertsdale to a PCA rodeo Friday night. They got the Livingston has a children's rodeo. They have it mutton busting. They have it.
That's this weekend.
This was at 12 o'clock Saturday, having stick horse barrel racing, goat ribbon race, that 2 or 3 other kids events, and then the night they're having a ranch rodeo, and it'll be a live auction. They don't raise money, and they're having like the herding cows with the horses, dogs. They're gonna have a competition with that. And they're gonna have loading in the trailers, different things like that, competition. But it's a fundraiser for the school, because their season starts the 16th, I think, when we go back on the road.
Well, when's Brody's next rodeo?
Well, if we may go to Robertsdale in a pro rodeo Friday night. The last I heard, that's what we were doing Friday night. But the school rodeo, I think we go to Meridian or either Scuba the 16th, I think.
All right, well, we're gonna be pulling for him. We're gonna be sure pulling for him.
He's been getting a little better. Been covering a lot of horses. He got him a score the other night in Columbiana. Hopefully that we try. He got a qualified ride with the PCA. If he gets a few of those, he'll make their finals. And if he win a little bit of money, we want to try to get that Rookie of the Year.
Bucky Barrett said he's still out there coon hunting as hot as it is. And burning. Oh, still out there burning. Okay. Well, we burned today. I told Kevin when he sits down by me, I probably smell like smoke because we've been burning all day.
I stepped on a snake at work.
I saw a black snake today.
This was a chicken or water snake, but I've come off the stairs going out on the pier at the ASB pond. Mm-hmm. I felt something hit me on the leg. I looked down. I don't know which end it was, but one of it hit me on the calf. It didn't take me long to look at it. It went through the drape.
Well, they ain't going to bother you unless you step on them or something. All right, well, I'm going to show this one more time before we go. We gave Joe Allen so much hill last week about not, and I recorded his dialed in and didn't catch for 2 fish.
Let's hear it one more time, BJ.
I ain't got it. I erased it, and I had to put the
well, he's in. He's back in. Yeah. He'll probably have 30 or 40 next Saturday.
Yeah, he's dialed in now. He's dialed in. And I want to show y'all this one more time, too. Because that right there, boys. And you got to hear that story on the
big
podcast.
Big crappie, ain't it?
Yeah. Woo! And he tells exactly how. Now, Scott didn't catch it. His partner caught it, but Scott was looking. He found him on the live scope, and when he saw that thing, he couldn't believe how big it was. You just got to hear. You got to hear the interview, and me and Shane, we got some good information out of him, Shane.
We did.
And it was great. I've never caught a 3-pounder, and I sure want to. I've got a replica 3-pounder mounted that Morris Lipham mounted for me and Wes Kennedy, because he told us he was going to mount the first 3-pounder we caught, and that was in 1987. About 1993, he just made us a replica.
Still hadn't caught one.
so we'd have one. All right, anything else, Shane? Tomorrow night on Shane Jones Fishing Crappie Cast.
That's right.
Let me tell y'all something. If you want to learn something about crappie fishing, listen to Shane and John. And are y'all gonna let Jessica talk tomorrow night?
She's over there catching fish on the long rod right now. Something she disliked a lot. I seen a YouTube video he put out, so she's gonna be answering some few questions too. But we go into a lot of detail. So hey, tomorrow night, the best question of the night is getting 3 packs of the bonehead baits.
Okay.
I'm giving away.
All right.
That's the details. Whoever has a question of the night, I'm gonna ship them those baits. They should be here today or tomorrow. So
and the bonehead jigs, that's you catching them fish on.
Exactly, the bonehead. I mean, they're people that went with me last weekend. I tell you, that's the same bait. You know, you got the same head, the same color. So I'm gonna give them away tomorrow night for the question of the night, because when people ask questions, it helps the show keep going. So I don't care how simple or how complex. You just get it ready.
And y'all be sure to go to Shane Jones Fishing YouTube channel and subscribe to it and hit the bell. But we trying to get that Facebook page, Shane Jones Facebook page, up too. So if you haven't already liked or followed Shane Jones Fishing, do that right now. Go to it right now.
That way you can keep up with the giveaways and who we're gonna have on the show, and we're gonna be branching out doing all kinds of different stuff. But we have fun on the show, and we try to help everybody catch more fish. And I've been getting reports of people catching more fish because of the show.
Yeah,
so it's doing what it's supposed to do.
Well, everywhere I stopped on the river last week, they want to know where you was fishing. Where's Shane? Where's Shane?
I can't hide. Heck, my big butt in that boat. You can see where I'm fishing.
Well, Shane, we appreciate you, man. I really do appreciate you coming on, Kevin. Always, you guys never cease to amaze me. Even Joe Allen, when y'all here, y'all always got something that I didn't know, and that's just comes from experience. And what did me and you and Scott say? Time on the water.
I talked to Tommy on the way here, man. People don't understand. What can I do, man? It's going to take you some time. If you've run electronics, it's going to.
Yeah, that's right. All right, thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Tell
Jordan,
Mr. Neese, I got to come over there and get me some of them groceries you and Mr. Neese been making.
I've seen that. I've seen that too.
That dead gum spaghetti sauce looked mighty
I've
fine.
seen that. I was eyeballing that myself.
It was good stuff. You know, and last night we had Hawaiian pork, and y'all gonna think I'm crazy. I went up there to Walmart to Superfoods to get some stuff to make the spaghetti out of, and I just browsed through. I found a Boston butt for $3.20. It was like marked down, reduced for quick sale. Mm-hmm. We threw it in the crock pot, put 2 cans of pineapple in there, bell peppers, and onions like that. Turned that thing on about 5 o'clock in the morning. Let it cook all night. Took all that juice out of there and pineapple, put on rice, and then had the pork and the rice. And it was some green beans. It's pretty rough last night. I didn't like got in a coma by the time I eat all that.
All right, here's breaking news, boys. This is what live will do for you. One of the top fishermen on the Alabama River says skipjack are on fire at Miller's Ferry.
I wonder if you mean catching them or using them for bait.
I don't know.
Usually I start catching a few on crappie jigs when they're up doing something, so we'll see.
All right. Well, I don't know. That's a good question, Michael. We fishing to go
off?
Are
you catching some or just use them for bait?
Yeah. Are they on fire as bait? Or are you catching some with what do you call them?
Sabiki rigs.
Mm-hmm. So we'll find out later, I guess. But thank you, Michael, for that, because we got to go. Thank you again, Shane. And
yes, sir. Thank y'all. Everybody tuning in.
Joe Allen will be back next weekend. Crappie Cast tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Shane Jones Fishing. See y'all See y'all next week.
Pap taught me every critter's track and how to set a hair trigger on a trap. He taught me to shoot, scale, and skin and make a snare with a leather strap. He taught me to be a part of the woods and all his woodsy tricks. Said you gotta walk soft on 2 light feet and try not to break no stick. I thank Daddy for my savvy, how to hunt and how to carry anything that I might need to get a piece of skillet meat. How to walk and how to hide, how to crawl and how to slide, how to sneak, stalk, and climb and do it all on 2 light feet.